Hey guys, welcome back to DCS World. I'm Spudknocker, as always. And today we have a little bit of a different kind of video. Today we're going to be going through and talking about DCS World multiplayer servers and the easiest way to set up a multiplayer server in my opinion. And so as a result, we're going to be taking a look at Fox 3 Managed Solutions, a DCS World server provider that I think is going to add a lot to the DCS World community. Today we have an awesome guest with us. His name is Luck, and he is the owner and operator of Fox 3 Managed Solutions. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Luck. We're here on a Discord call together.
Hi everybody, this is Luck. I am co-owner of Fox 3 Managed Solutions. My partner and I set this up last year. And you may know us. My partner, his name's Scott, and we run Motor City Pit Vipers. Sorry, my brain's not working. And together we chose the Fox 3 because we saw a need for this in the community. And I was running 3 or 4 servers for the Pit Vipers, and now I run 20 servers for a bunch of people. But we saw the need for the community, and that's why we created it.
Awesome. And if memory serves me right, you're a professional when it comes to servers and managing servers, right? With your professional life?
Yep, I work in technology. I work for a software company, and so this is this is kind of a side gig at the moment. But if it gets big enough, I'd love to do this full time.
Awesome. So it's kind of like it's right up your alley. It's your bread and butter. This is what you do every day. And so as a result, Fox 3 and Luck and Scott, they have tailored their server services particularly for DCS World. You cannot go through their service to say run a Minecraft server or an Arma server or anything else. It's specifically tailored to DCS World. And as a result, it's made as seamless as possible, and it is a very, very easy experience to go from purchasing your server to then hopping into that server and playing DCS World multiplayer on a very large scale. I've been using Fox 3 Managed Solutions servers for a few weeks now with my very large scale missions, and it has worked really, really awesome, and it's given Luck a lot of good feedback. Would you agree with that, Luck?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting up a DCS World server is not exactly straightforward. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of little things you find out by doing it, and then you do things the hard way, like I did over the last couple of years, and you realize that there's much easier ways of handling things and making everything really efficient. And you find out the little weaknesses and problems that DCS Server Software actually has that you can get around and mitigate and improve.
Awesome. So instead of somebody buying a new computer to set up in their house or renting server space and then having to install DCS World Dedicated Server Software, configure it, install SRS, TACVIEW, LotATC, all of this stuff, once you buy your DCS server here from Fox 3, they just set it up for you, and all you got to do is worry about playing in DCS World, and you can always contact them for specific options that you want for different changes you want to SRS or LotATC to fit the mission that you're going to fly or the service that you're going to provide for your guys who are going to hop onto your server. So today we're going to walk through and show you guys how easy it is to hop into a Fox 3 Managed Solutions server, and Luck here is going to help walk us through it in case I stumble on any junction here, and we'll go ahead and get going. So we are here on the homepage of Fox 3 Managed Solutions, and it's a very small company, and I'm helping Luck here figure out how to make the website better, how to make it look a little more pretty, of course. And but everything is here, of course, that you need to get up and running with a really smooth and very powerful DCS server. So the different services they have available, kind of the main ones are on their services tab here. We can see they've got tier A, B, and C. We can see that they're priced differently because they have different hardware associated with those servers, and then we can see the approximate number of players that they support. And then they also have some Uber tiers above this tier C service that if you are a very large community of DCS World pilots, you can rack it up as high as you want. maybe even to that very hard-coded max of 255 players in a DCS World server. That ceiling is set by Eagle Dynamics. And we're hoping in the future to maybe hop in and test that very top end and see if we can fully destroy and break a server with a whole bunch of people one day. That'd be a lot of fun, huh?
Absolutely. We tried that. We only got about 40 people that showed up, but we did see that the 255 hard code limit is in there, and you had to actually jump through some hoops to get to that, because if you try to create the server at the server screen with over 100, it tells you can't. So you had to actually edit some Lua scripts, but we got it up to 255.
Gotcha. Well, we'll try to max that out and see if we can blow up Eagle Dynamics server software in the future. But anyway, when it comes to actually ordering your server, you just go to order your server today up here. You choose exactly which tier you want. You click on it. You order it up, go through the subscription process, your credit card info, all of that good stuff. And then in your email, you will receive a welcome letter from Fox3 Managed Solutions. And in that welcome letter, as we can see right here, we are set up as a new customer today. We are John Doe, valued customer of Fox3 Managed Solutions. And it says, obviously, please read carefully here. And we can go through and actually find our server that we're going to use today. Everything is web-based, and it makes it very seamless. In my opinion, it makes it very easy to just upload your mission, hop into DCS World, and then fly your mission. So step one is terminal access to the server is limited to Fox3 Managed Solutions resources only. Essentially, what that means, if I understand Luck, is that you can only do DCS World stuff through, Fox3 Managed Solutions servers. You can't do anything else.
Right.
You
can go through the web interface from DCS. So you log into your DCS account that we create, and there's a web interface there for manipulating your server or servers. And then the actual remote desktop access to the Windows server, we actually control. Reason being is we can't have malicious activity going on. We monitor them very, very closely, and we try to prevent anything from being just risky or problematic, and that way we can offer better service too.
Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and start logging into the Digital Combat Simulator website itself, and this is actually how we get into controlling the server remotely from our side as, say, the administrator of this server that we're going to create. So the login, as we saw on the letter, is user fox3-9990. So we'll highlight that and go Control-C to copy it, and we'll paste that into the login window on the Eagle Dynamics website. And then we'll copy and paste the password as well. And they ask you to please do not change the DCS login information or password, so that way, I assume, Luck, you can get in there and maybe do some troubleshooting, as well as make sure that you still have control over, what's going on in that server in case something goes amok, right?
Exactly. If someone calls and says, hey, my server's not showing up, what we do is we actually physically, from our end, log in the DCS as them and just see what they're seeing, and then we go compare it to what's happening on the server itself. So we can troubleshoot that way and make sure that it's working properly.
And we have logged into our actual DCS World profile on the Eagle Dynamics website that is set up by Fox3 Managed Solutions. So all we got to do now to actually get to the control panel for our server is to go up to the top right here and click on Profile. This will take us to essentially where you would look at your previous orders and all of that on the Eagle Dynamics website. But through this profile section on the Eagle Dynamics website, we can take a look at all of the multiplayer servers in a list, or we can take a look at my servers that we have actually attached to us that we can edit and change. So let's click on My Servers, and then we can see our server right here, new Fox3 customer, fox3ms.com. And essentially in the future, you will have a Fox3 Managed Solutions server that is under your name or your username, whatever you choose. So that way when you first load up, you'll see, hey, that's my server and that's Fox3. And of course, you can change the name of that server at any time to match, say, your group's name, your squadron's name, whatever it might be. So let's go ahead and click on this. And this brings you to the very familiar, for most of you guys out there, the Dedicated Server GUI panel. And at this point, we're controlling our server. So now we just have to upload missions to the server. So we're getting a lot of Chrome tabs open. So let's get rid of some of the things we don't need anymore. We don't need the Fox3 Managed Solutions website anymore, and we don't necessarily need our profile panel for the Eagle Dynamics website. So we'll go back to our welcome letter, and we'll keep going down through the intro letter here. So we're already logged in to the Eagle Dynamics profile. Your server is configured with DCS beta release as specified when you first order your server. We've also got SRS installed. And Luck, what are the other services that you can throw onto these servers?
So the other things we put in by request is LotATC and the track software. What's that called again? The
TACVIEW?
TACVIEW, right, thank you. And so those things could be installed. To get the TACVIEW, I'd need a license key from whoever installed wants it, and I'll install it for you. The LotATC, we install and configure the ports and everything, and then we give you instructions on how to access it. Okay. And then I think there's the only other thing that we know of right now is SRS, and that's on all the servers, and we keep those updated too. So when SRS updates, we automatically update everything. Okay,
sounds good. And so it says here, right, number 3, if you'd like to add any other third-party applications, contact us, just like Luck had said. And then to upload missions, you will access our Nextcloud server, and the missions will sync, placing the missions in the mission folder that we can get to in the server dashboard. So all we got to do is open up this link in a new tab, and of course I highly recommend you favorite these in your browser so you can get to them very, very quickly and easily. And then we've got the same username and password to log in to these service sections on Nextcloud. So we'll go ahead and Control-C to copy it. We'll go over here, and then we have to proceed. It says unsafe, but don't worry about it. It's nothing malicious about this software. For whatever reason, Chrome just doesn't like this piece of software.
No, that is my fault actually, and I'm working on that. My certificate is not quite working correctly, and I have to get that fixed. It's on my list.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Once that's fixed, you won't see that anymore.
It's a small service, so I totally understand. There's always just a laundry list of to-dos and wish list things, right?
Exactly.
So we'll just log in here, and like I said, everything is web-based and super easy to access. So we'll go ahead and let it log in. There it is. And essentially right here we can see what is already in our missions folder. The server itself comes with a MIZ file just as a placeholder for you to make sure that the server is working correctly. And then we can add different mission files by going up here to the top left, clicking on Files. And this is where we can actually drag and drop our mission files to add to the server itself. So I already have an MIZ file ready to go. I'm going to call it the Mariana's Training Range.miz. We'll just drag and drop, and it will upload there. And we'll give it a couple of minutes here to refresh. Then we'll go to the server dashboard over here. We'll go ahead and refresh it so that way we can make sure that when we try to add a new mission, it will be there. And sometimes it takes a couple minutes for it to refresh.
And if I could just add something to that.
Yeah.
The reason we have the mission in there is because when there's a mission running, I could monitor the server and know that there's something running. As soon as that mission stops for whatever reason, I actually get an alert that says, hey, the server's down. So I ask that everybody have at least a mission running at all times. It doesn't have to be doing anything, but that way we're not getting lots of alerts. But that's how we alert ourselves, because we test it remotely to see if there's a mission. And if there's not, then we get an alert, and it comes to our phones and it comes to our emails.
Fantastic. Okay, so now that we see, we've refreshed, we've waited, a couple minutes, a couple seconds there. We've got Mariana's Training Range all queued up and ready to go. We'll just add that into the mission, and we will click Run, and we will have the server start to run our Mariana's Training Range mission. And we can see the server is paused, and it is now running our Mariana's Training Range. And we can go to our little options section here, and we can always change our, actual options for the DCS World server right here. And so if you want to say set a password for the server, set a allow object export, sensor export for TACVIEW, change what kind of messages pop up in the chat, all the stuff that you guys know very, very well when it comes to setting up DCS World servers. So why don't we go ahead and give it a new password. We'll go ahead and call the password SPUD, all lowercase. And we will save that. And for the changes to apply to the actual settings of the server, all we got to do is just click the restart button to restart the server. And keep in mind, this is not restarting the hardware over on the Fox 3 side. It is simply just restarting the software that runs the server. And so we'll go ahead and we can see the server is paused, and we can see it's been 10 seconds and counting since the server was restarted. So at this point, we can go ahead and open up DCS World and get started with hopping into DCS World to fly in this mission here. Alrighty, at this point, we're just waiting for DCS World to open. Which
sometimes can be the longest part.
Exactly. Especially if it crashes a couple times.
I've fired it up myself too, and it's just still going.
Yep. So it is pretty remarkable, in my opinion, that it is quite this seamless. And the first time that I started doing DCS World missions with Fox 3 servers, I was pretty darn surprised and pretty darn impressed with how easy it was, because I'm so used to having to, work so hard to make a server in DCS World work correctly for myself and the guys who are going to be flying with me. And so that's why I am so energetic about Fox 3, and why, I may seem over enthusiastic about a new company on the scene, but I think that they're really going in the right direction for the DCS World community.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go to multiplayer. And I believe we have auto connect configured for SRS. So if everything works correctly, it should automatically open up my SRS and then connect to the server. And we'll just test that as we hop on in. All right, and we can see our server right here, new Fox 3 customer. That's exactly the same thing we want. See, the map is Mariana's and Mariana's training range for the mission. And the password should be SPUD, all lowercase. Yes, we will always allow. It went ahead and opened up SRS and auto-connected. That's exactly what we want. And that makes it very, very easy for your clients that are joining your server to just get right connected to SRS, no problem. And we can see that Luck is already in here. So let's go ahead and hop into an FA18 and show you guys that, yep, it in fact all works as advertised. And here we are with Luck right next to us in an FA-18 at Anderson Air Force Base in our Mariana's training mission in the Fox 3 server that we just bought. So once you receive that welcome letter from Fox 3, you're good to go, and it is just that simple and just that easy. Do you have any closing remarks here, Luck?
No, other than there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Was about our cloud service that basically allows groups to share skins. So I know a lot of groups have their own customized liveries, and we use this ourselves for the Motor City Pit Vipers. And essentially what you do is for a group, it's not very much, but the whole group can access it. There's no size limits, and essentially everybody can download the skins that one person puts up. Say you got a skin maker And then you can also do it automatically. So you just run the client, and every time a skin changes, it automatically gets propagated to the right directory on your DCS client. So when you start up, you got all the skins.
That's pretty darn cool. We'll definitely have to do a separate video on that in the future, because
Absolutely.
that sounds very interesting. Because whenever I want to fly in the Marianas and I want all my guys to have Indonesian F-16 skins, it's always annoying to have half of them in the default skin and half of them in Indonesian skins.
Right.
So we'll go ahead and end it here, and that should be a really good example for you guys of why Fox 3 is so awesome in my opinion, because it is just that easy to get up and running with a DCS World multiplayer server, and it's massively scalable from just a small group of guys who want a really solid server to a massive group of guys who want to fly massed missions with lots of players. So with that, we'll go ahead and end it, and we'll see you in the next one, guys.